All right, back at it again with another sit down lesson. This World War III news updates as of May the 1st, 2026 on this Friday night. So with that, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakar and the Heavenly Father, which you name is Yahweh and his unbegotten Son, Bahashem, in the name of Hamashiach Yahushua. Those are the true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, the Lashon Salute tongue, and I say Barakatham to the elders and apostles, Wa'akim, Wa'akwaf, and I say Shalom. And this is a from news article from the Jerusalem Post. It says the Israeli Defense Force shift focus to Iran's nuclear threat as Trump not satisfied with the latest Iranian proposal. So that shows you that tensions mount up against. I mean, tensions might mount up again of Iran versus Israel Defense Force and Iran versus the United States, especially over there in the Strait of Hormuz. While you're still going to have the United States blocking the Strait of Hormuz, and then best believe Iran is going to respond back. So check out this news article, news updates. It says Iran's enrichment likely at Isfahan. The IEA discusses extraction with Russia. Yep, it says Trump is not satisfied with the latest Iranian proposal, says leadership is fully disjointed. Speaking to the media outside the White House, Trump says that Iran wants to make a deal because they have no military left. That's not true. It says U.S. imposed new Iranian sanctions warn shipping companies not to pay Hormuz tolls. Not to pay the Hormuz tolls. It says that the move comes after the U.S. imposed new sanctions, right? Just like the United States imposed sanctions and tariffs on the European Union, I believe. And then he put more hard sanctions on anybody that's allies with Cuba. And I think was that I don't know if that was the president of Cuba has criticized the United States with these sanctions. And so this dude sanctioned anybody. And this man using economical sanctions, terror sanctions, you name it. It says the U.S. imposed new Iranian sanctions, warned shipment companies not to pay Hormuz toll. The move comes after the U.S. imported new sanctions on Tuesday on 35 groups and individuals involved in the operation of Iran's covert shadow banking financial system. So this is what you call economical wars, trade wars, nuclear wars, sanction wars, you name it, in many different categories. Bring up that Joel, the third chapter. Bring up Joel, the third chapter. Wait for it to load up. Yep, this is Yep, this is book of Joel. Yep, this is Prophet Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty man, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, right? So let all the men of war draw near, let them come up as they continue to be gathered up over there in Western Asia. And so the battle of Strait of Moose from a warlike perspective and from an oil war perspective, those continues to heat up over there in that region. That's why Trump used sanctions on these other nations that do deals with Iran, or they might pay them just to have that oil tanks and shipments just to spread, pass through the Strait of Hormuz because they're warning them they're gonna get hit with sanctions. Iran, they're gonna get hit with sanctions. So that shows more and more these tariff wars, economic wars, oil wars, fuel wars. is going to heat up between these nations, especially in particular Iran and the United States armies over there in Strait of Hormuz. So bring out that Joel, the third chapter. This is the prophet Joel, chapter 3, verse 10. It says, beat your plowshares and the swords, plunderers and the spears, and let the exams grow. Right, so let the exams grow. So that's so.
Man, I ain't got to worry about no father kids. Fuck a father kids. Create. That's it. I be ready to go down to New York and you want to get the hell out of here. Walk over there and take that form. The application, man. I mean, I think about doing you and get my insure life at back home.
Right.
And Lord, I got to care. Get that car. Pay the pay shit.
Right.
But they're done now. I'm hoping and I'm back.
Right. This is the prophet Joel, chapter 3, verse 10. It says, beat your plowshares and the swords, and plunderers and the spears, and let the weak sound strong. Right? So let the weak sound strong. And that's what we're seeing. Because you're still going to have Hezbollah going to be rising up still against the Israel Defense Force. And then you're still going to have Iran still had those tensions against the Israel Defense Force. And then Iran versus the United States, these tensions are only going to escalate more and more. And then you're still going to have North Korea over there in the Korean Peninsula. They're going to be rising up against Japan and South Korea. And so these armies of nations going to continue to rise up against one another. And we're still going to see in the left weak sound strong. And that's what we're seeing. So, I just want to add a side note today. So I'm going to get to some more news articles. Let's check out the RT.com. So best believe these nuclear wars is only going to continue to heat up. It says U.S. warns key Ukrainian backers of delay in weapons delivery. It says notice were reportedly sent to UK, Poland, Lithuania, and Estonia as the Iranian drains stockpiles. The U.S. has warned several European countries, including the UK, Poland, Lithuania, and Estonia, to expect delays in deliveries of American-made weapons because of the war with Iran. This ballistic stockpiles in Financial Times report late on Friday. I mean, that's still not stopping them that's still not stopping them to having that's still not stopping them from deploying, especially from NATO members. That's still not stopping them from deploying more nuclear capability for Ukraine, especially like Germany, recently, and these other European-backed countries that's allies with the European Union and NATO. So they still gonna find ways to find ways to give more military equipment to Ukraine, while the Russian-Ukraine situation is heating up. And then you still have tensions are heating up between the European Union and NATO versus Russia and Belarus. So despite the fact that the United States said their weaponry is going to be delayed, it says Trump announced new tariffs on the EU. Yeah, that goes to that, what's that, Revelation 17, verse 16. So I had a sad note to that. It says U.S. shipped tons of munitions and hardware to Israel. West Jerusalem must be prepared. It says West Jerusalem must be prepared to resume attacks on Iran if necessary. Yeah, wars and rumors of wars. Read this news article. It says U.S. ships tons of munitions and hardware to Israel. Right, just like they made that announcement about 8.6 billion in military sales to Middle Eastern allies, which is Kuwait, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, and Israel as well too. It says West Jerusalem must be prepared for resume attacks on Iran if necessary. Defense Minister Israel has warned. The U.S. has delivered 6,500 tons of munitions and equipment to Israel within 24 hours, the West Jerusalem has said. The announcement concluded with the media reports claiming that the head of U.S. Central Command, Brad Cooper, has briefed U.S. President Donald Trump on a plan for potential renewing of a military action against Iran in a bid to pressure it to consent to a more favorable peaceful deal. It says, according to the Fox News, the Cooper describes as the final blow against Tehran could include a short and powerful wave of strikes and targeting Iran's remaining military assets and leaderships and infrastructure. Because you had, what was that, Supreme Leader was mentioned was that day before yesterday that they're going to continue to defend themselves with a deal or without a deal. It says the ceasefire it says the ceasefire in the U.S.-Israeli war against Iran was announced on April the 8th. It says after more than a month of fighting, but attempts by Washington and Tehran to reach a diplomatic settlement to the crisis have far been in vain. It says the control of the Strait of Hormuz and the Iranian nuclear program reportedly remains the stumbling blocks. Right, because it makes perfect sense because Iran is not going to give up. They're not going to give up that nuclear capability because yesterday the supreme leader of Iran was saying we're not going to give up that nuclear capability. It says the Israeli defense minister says in a statement on Thursday the two cargo ships docked in the country's port of Ashdod and Haifa has arrived with thousands of air and ground forces and military trucks, a joint light tactical vehicles of the JLTVS and other military equipment. It says that the hardware was loaded onto hundreds of trucks and moving to Israel and Defense Force, the IDF, bases across the country. It says the statement says, and according to the defense minister's data, Israel has Israel has already received 115,600 tons of military equipment via 403 airlifts and T-10C lifts, and since the U.S.-Israel attack on Iran began on February 28th. The Semaphore, if I pronounce that right, reported in mid-March, citing America officials that Israel has informed that the U.S. was running critically low on air defense interceptors and admitting Tehran retaliatory strikes. The IDF rejected the claim. The Israel has said on Thursday that West Jerusalem support Washington's diplomatic efforts, but warned that it may soon be required to act again and against Iran to make sure it will not return to a big threat. The commander of Iran Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, Aerospace Force Brigadier General Shali Majid Masobavi, if I pronounce his name right, said that the same day that Tehran will respond and with painful, prolonged, and fair reaching strikes if attacked again. Yeah, we'll get back to that Joel, the third chapter. And this is the book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, right? The prophet Joel was mentioned that this is being proclaimed among the Gentiles, which is the armies of the nations. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty man, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, right? Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. And this is Salakia. Yeah, we'll go to the next verse to close out. And this is Joel 3, verse 10. Beat your plowshares and the swords and the opponents set the spears and let the weak turn strong. Right, so if Iran says that they come attack us again from the United States and from the United States armies and from the Defense Force armies and their allies as well too, they're going to respond back, and the pro-Iran groups as well too, which they did previously. So with that, hopefully this World War III news update was edifying. as of May the 1st, 2026, on this Friday night. So with that, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, or Kakadash, and the Heavenly Father, true name is Yahweh, and his only begotten Son, Bahashem, in the name of Hamashiach Yahushua. Those are the true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew. The lost Kodash, the Holy Tongue, and I say Barakatham to the elders and apostles, Wa'aki and Wa'akwa. Until next time, I would say Kwam Yasharala in the Bible Ball. Shalom.